All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mr. G's classroom, aka my kitchen. But welcome to day 2 of this online teaching. Make sure, here's the agenda for today, guys. Welcome back. But we've got prayer, attendance, announcements, per usual. Then we're going to go over the rotations review. Not really. It's on Google Classroom. That'll be part of the announcements. Then we're going to review briefly just one of each. Thank you, Zane, for your advice. And then we have a Desmos activity. Then you have a Chapter 8 review. All right. Major announcement: Chapter 8 test for my A-dayers Monday. That's this Monday, March 30th. Then my B-dayers Tuesday, the 31st. Okay, so major announcements before we get into prayer. So your parents and you all have the online agenda of how we're going to approach this for the next couple weeks. So make sure you read that thoroughly. I will make sure that I am available during those office hours. Okay, so from 11 to 12, you can get a hold of me. Email, Google Docs. You guys should be getting a Google Doc invite for you to ask all your questions if you need any assistance. Otherwise I think that's pretty well it. I also have that Google Classroom set up. I still have how many people? I still have 10 of you that have not signed up for that. Okay, so make sure you check your email. That email was from March 16th. Okay, and then make sure you check today's email. All right. So anyway, I have for attendance today, guys. Make sure you answer. It's more than just attendance. There's some questions in there about what works best for you, of how you want me to approach this. If what I'm doing right now works and you want me to continue that, great. If you want me to do something else, let me know. All right, but I just have a ranking of like 1 to 5 and different things. Just make sure you answer those questions, and do it before 3 o'clock. Do it before 3 o'clock. There were 4 of you yesterday that did not get that submitted by 4 o'clock. I count you absent. Okay, so 3 o'clock in the afternoon, please make sure you sign in for attendance. All right, so then otherwise, Google Classroom, that is where your rotations review homework answers are going to be. But I'm not going to spend time on this video today going over that. That's your responsibility to ask me. Okay, you guys are learning some responsibility and academic ownership through this online teaching. I like it. All right, so anyway, let's just get into prayer here, guys. Leading us in prayer will be lucky number 12. So if you're number 12, you should be leading us in prayer. But I'll begin. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. Heavenly Father, pray for all the intentions that everybody mentions on that Google forms for attendance, whatever intentions we have in our hearts. Continue to pray for all the intentions we normally have. The end of coronavirus. Pray for our families, our friends, anybody that needs a prayer. Pray for us to have all the to make sure that we are grateful for all the good things that we have in our lives, and then anything that we're suffering in, to help us use that as a way to grow closer to you. So help us all in our lives today and every day. So otherwise, we'll finish with the Memorare. Remember, O most gracious Virgin Mary, that never was it known that anyone who fled to thy protection, implored thy help, or sought thy intercession was left unaided. Inspired with this confidence, I fly unto thee, O Virgin of Virgin, my mother. To thee do I come, before thee I stand, sinful and sorrowful. O Mother of thy Word incarnate, despise not our petitions, but in thy clemency hear and answer me. Amen. In the name of the Father, Son, and Spirit. Amen. So, let's get straight into it. All right. So we already did prayer. I kind of went all over the place already, I guess. But I guess that's not much different than class, right? So, like I said, rotations, review. Go to Google Classroom. I posted it on there. I've never really used Google Classroom, so I'm kind of learning it as we go. If you guys really like Google Classroom, I'll learn it for you. So let me know what you like. Or if this works, I'll just keep doing this. We'll do what works. So now let's review. All right, you have a test next class period. All right, as you see at the bottom of the announcements here. All right, you have a test. So we have 3 different topics that we learned in this chapter. We started off with dilations, right? Which was a nice transition from chapter 7 of similarity figures. So we started off with dilations, and then we went into translations, and then we did reflections, and then we just finished up with rotations. So I'm just going to do one example of each, just as a recap for today's class, and then we'll move on to the next thing. Unfortunately, guys, I'm sorry. The duck project is no more. You already knew that, though, right? I announced that last class. But unfortunately, I don't think this was the instruction piece, and getting this put together based on past experiences would not go too well without me physically being in the classroom with you. So we're just going to have to take the traditional review and test. So I'm sorry. I'm not that cool anymore. All right, so you're going to get a nice little lesson here, review. You do not have this. What's that glare doing? Okay. So you do not have this, okay, guys? I made these up here at home. So if you want, you can jot them down on your own, or just pay attention. You can pause the video as much as you want, and we'll just go through each individual. I know each individual problem. I know you cannot see me. That's okay. We will just go through each one individually. So, sorry, I'm not a technology wizard here, so I'll just go ahead and try to do it as best as I can. But here's the first one of review. We are doing dilations. All right, so we're going to dilate triangle ABC right over here. I have PI there for my pre-image, so that is my ABC. And then I am going to dilate it by a scale factor of K equals 3. So we should be able to know that K equals 3 will be an enlargement and not a reduction, right? Because it's bigger than 1. Again, this is all review. You'll see I have my coordinates here, -2, 1, -1, -1, and 2, 0. So we all know how to plot points. -2, 1, -1, -1, 2, 0, ABC, yada, yada, yada. So let me put this down so I can write for you. You guys should all know to make a dilation, you just multiply by the scale factor. So if my scale factor is 3, I'm going to multiply all of these coordinates by 3, the x and the y. All right, so it's going to -2, 1 is going to turn into -6, 3. Right? B prime. So I'm going to have -1, -1, multiply both of those by 3, so it'll end up being -3, -3. And then my last one, C to C prime, as I multiply all of these by 3, is going to be 6, 0. Okay, so there's my 3 points of my image points. Now I need to graph them on here to show that enlargement, that it should be 3 times larger. All right, so A prime, -6, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, kind of hard without actual grid. That is my A prime, good enough. B prime, -3, -3. Start at the origin, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we'll say right there, B prime. C prime is 6, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ran out of space. That's okay. C prime. I'm going to connect those, and we will end up having okay. So they're right there. Dilation by a scale factor of 3. You see my pre-image points in black and my image points in blue. So that is review item number 1. We are done. Let's go on to translations. All right, I think you guys did pretty well with translations, as I recall. So let's kind of do that. You guys had a Desmos activity on that, right? So translations, I'm going to take my pre-image and I'm going to translate triangle NBA using that translation rule. Now we should know what that translation rule means. All right, so I got my pre-image points over here, my image over here with that transition arrow. All right, so I'm going to be shifting 5 units to the left and 2 units up. Correct? Correct. So let's go ahead and do that. You should all know what those signs mean, plus, minus, whatever else. If not, look at your notes. We took notes on all of this. All right, so N to N prime, I got to go 5 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I got to go 2 up. 1, 2. N prime. 5 to the left for A. And we'll go in order. B. So we got to go B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm losing track without the grid lines, but whatever. Quit talking to yourself, Mr. G. Next one, A. I got to go 5 left and 2 up again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was off a little bit, wasn't it? 5 and then up 2. 1, 2. Right here. That does not look right at all, does it? I didn't make something right. Oh well. That should be A prime. So N, B, A. Those should look. I guess I didn't do too bad. So that is my image. Okay, so I went left 5 and up 2 for all of those, and you should be able to find the new coordinates for that if you need to. So here's a little zoom up look. Sorry, I'm not a big old. All right. So that is my translation, right? So item number 2, review complete. Now we've got to move on to the next one that we had was reflections. So that is on the bottom left over here. So I am going to have you guys reflect triangle KLG across the line x equals -3. All right, so here's KLG, and I already have my green. That's supposed to be green. That is my line of reflection, my mirror line, reflection line, whatever you want to call it. But that right there is where we're going to base it off of. All right, so if you don't remember how to graph x equals -3, that was in the previous email. I gave you a review on that, but that's from Algebra 1. All right, so -3, 1, 2, 3, boom, vertical line. So there's my line of reflection, and that green line is my MVP. All right, I do not care about the x-axis anymore. All right, I'm not flipping it around the x-axis. I'm flipping it around that green line. Okay, so if I'm going for my G, if I go 1 to the left, I'm going 1 to the right. So I'm going on the other side of the line. This is my G prime. And I got to count over from here to my K. Always start the green line, right? That's your MVP. And then I got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means I'm going to go the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is my K prime. Same thing for L. Try to line them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right of the reflection line. So then 5 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. L prime. Connect it. And that should end up being right as so. Whoop, whoop. So that is my reflected triangle. That is my image. I did not connect those very well, but you guys get the picture. Notice these overlap. I did that on purpose for this example. That is a legal outcome. All right, so just make sure, remember, whenever you go across this way, they should always be perpendicular to your line of reflection that we have right there. But otherwise, that is item number 3. Moving on to the final one. Let me zoom in. I'm sorry for all of you that might want that. That is what the reflections one looks like. All right, across x equals -3. I can change that line of reflection all I want. X-axis, Y-axis, whatever. And then here's my last one, rotations. Rotations. Oh, wait, there it is. Right, that's the problem. I'm going to rotate triangle BHD 270 degrees counterclockwise. All right, so I wrote the original points there for you based upon what I saw from some of your homework. That's what you guys like doing, is making that list. So you have to remember what the rotations rule is. Right, so the rotations rule of 270 degrees goes from XY to Y comma negative X. Okay, so that was the previous lesson that we did in class. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and use that rotation rule. Or if you don't like memorizing rules like this, guys, remember, you can just rotate your paper and redo them and refine and figure out where your points end up being. So 270 degrees counterclockwise, boom, boom, boom. I already know it should be somewhere here in quadrant 4. Okay? So again, if you need to review the rotations, go look at my last lesson that I sent to you, all right, on YouTube. So my translation rule, I don't like that Y. My translation rule is Y negative X. Y negative X. So all these X's, all these Y's. All right, I put them in, I stacking them in for a reason there. So I'm just going to put, if these are all my Y's, those are positive Y's, and these are positive Y's, so I'm just going to put my Y's first. All right, if this works, so 2 comma something, 5 comma something, 1 comma something. All right, but then that something that I'm talking about are my X's. All right, so that comes as the second coordinate. All right, so all these X coordinates in my original point is going to become opposite. All right, so 0, I can't make 0 opposite because it's 0. So it's 2 comma 0 for B prime. This is going to turn into 5 comma negative 1. That is a parenthesis. It kind of looks like a 15. Sorry about that. Then this one's going to turn into negative 3. Okay, so I just boom, use those rules. Again, it seemed like the feedback that I got, you guys did pretty well on rotations based upon my previous video. So here is my B prime, H prime, D prime. All right, now I got to graph those, and it should be in the proper spot on this graph to fit the 270 degree counterclockwise rotation. All right, so 2, 0 right here, labeling that as my B prime. 5, negative 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 1 right there. Let's label that as H prime. And then D is 1, negative 3. 1, 1, 2, 3. Boom, D prime. So B, H, D, boom. And that appears to be a 270 degree rotation counterclockwise. Okay, again, remember, you always go counterclockwise on rotations. Quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. All right, you'll learn more about that in Algebra 2 and Pre-Calculus. So, that's what we've got. Now, I had a question. We had a question from Mr. Zach. Mr. Zach, last class, we had a question on the clockwise rotations, okay? So if you go 270 degrees counterclockwise, 1, 2, 3, counterclockwise, that's the exact same thing as 90 degrees clockwise, okay? Mentioned that in the previous video. All right, so otherwise I think that's all I've got relative to the review, guys. If you need to, go back, refresh, review, whatever. But that's virtually all the concepts on your test. So let's go back to my desk here. So that is what I would originally have done in class. So then now what you guys are tasked with doing is you need to go to Desmos, okay? Because what I just did over there, that you do not have a worksheet for that, all right? But you need to go to Desmos activity. This is going to be a classwork assignment grade for today, all right? And this is due at 3 o'clock. All right, just like the attendance. So I will be able to see that you're checked in on my teacher Desmos account, okay? So make sure you go to that website. I emailed you what the class code is to get to the proper activity. All right, so that's what you're going to be doing now. And then your homework is the Chapter 8 review. That is also attached to your email. The Chapter 8 review is 4 pages like it always is. I have it printed off right here. Here's a first glance at it. All right, what I want you to do is change the directions on F down here. All right, change that reflection line to x equals -1. All right, on number 2, 2F. Okay, so change that to x equals -1. Otherwise, thanks to Zane helping me out, the only other thing I need to go over is 5 and 6. Otherwise, the rest is going to be homework. So 5 and 6 I didn't really cover, but I'm doing it right now. So determine whether the figure has rotational symmetry. Rotational symmetry just means if you rotate it, it looks the exact same. Right? It is symmetric to the original image. Right? And so yeah, that's all it is. All right. So I did those for you. Hopefully they make sense. If not, I can explain further. But I got this one. Let's go over. That is a yes, because if I rotate that 90 degrees, it's gonna look the exact same, right? 90 degrees. Looks the exact same. Okay, I just got that because there's 360 degrees in a rotation. So since it has 4 different, gosh, the lighting. Let's turn that back on. So since it has 4 different parts, I can just divide it by 4. That's how I got 9 degrees. B, the smiley face, can't rotate it and look the same unless it's 360, but then that's kind of redundant, right? And then we got the last one, C. We got a star, so I divided by 5. 360 divided by 5, so it's 72 degrees rotational symmetry. All right. Then I put the definition of isometry on there. I mentioned isometry at the very beginning of this chapter, I think once, but I didn't really define it for you, so I just define it for you right there. It's a transformation where the original image, pre-image, and the new image are congruent. Okay? Any questions? If you do, email me. All right, so yeah, otherwise you got 4 pages. If you get to page 4 and you get confused, just email me. It's okay, right? But you're just going step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. It is virtually the project, just a lot simpler. Right? It's like my duck project, all right? But you just go 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. You'll figure it out because I talked about it before. All right, otherwise, guys, that's all I've got for today. Just remember, again, test is next class period. Okay, so make sure you get the review done. All right. So attendance, 3 o'clock. Desmos activity, 3 o'clock. Chapter 8 review. Get it done today so that you can honestly know how to do it. All right. Remember, don't be a procrastinator. Have a good one, guys. If you have any questions, again, don't be afraid to ask. We'll get through this together. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your classes. If your parents have questions too, feel free to email me. I'll probably send them an email this weekend once I get things more figured out of how I want to approach things on my end. But otherwise, God bless. Miss you. Have a great one. Amen.